What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and a stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. Right now, it's completely free to do so. This way, you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day on a daily basis. We got some crazy news to talk about here today. Senator Joe Manchin has tested positive as this virus continues to spread here. This new variant is the most contagious variant yet to date. And I know it's just continuing. People want this virus to go away, but it's not. It's not. And you won't believe what happens to Senator Mitch McConnell from his own party, which is kind of crazy. I'll give you the details on that. So let's jump right in. Here we go. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Yeah, Senator Joe Manchin has tested positive now for the virus. He's not the only Joe. Of course, we know President Joe Biden has tested positive here a few days ago. And Senator Joe Manchin is 74 years old. He's kind of up there as well. President Joe Biden is 79 years old. So Joe Manchin's only 5 years behind. He's only 5 years behind. Yeah, so Joe Manchin tested positive here. He says in a statement from his Twitter page, yeah, this morning I tested positive for the virus. I'm fully vaccinated and boosted. Remember that that does not mean you won't catch the virus. Similar to like a flu shot, you can still catch the flu, but you can typically have lesser symptoms. Okay, it doesn't mean you won't catch the flu ever, right? He says I am fully vaccinated and boosted, and he's experiencing mild symptoms. I will isolate and follow CDC guidelines, and I will continue to work remotely. Get this, to serve West Virginians. He always mentions that, like he's not serving the rest of the country as well. You know, th- this kind of really perturbs me because when he votes on these bills are for the whole country. He's not just serving West Virginians. I mean, when you vote on all these different bills, you're voting on the Build Back Better bill, you're voting on gun safety bills, you're voting on abortion rights bills, you're voting on, inflation relief bills, you're voting on Social Security raises, you're voting on the CHIPS bill, which is, to make chips here in the United States. You're voting on anything here. It's for the whole United States. It's not just for West Virginia. By all means, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Even if you're from West Virginia, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. He acts like he's just serving West Virginia. He says this all the time. But when he goes to vote in the US Senate, it's the United States Senate. It's not the West Virginia Senate, because there is a West Virginia House and a West Virginia Senate as well. But he doesn't serve in the House, the West Virginia House Senate or the West Virginia State Senate. Okay, he's serving in the United States Senate. I get that he's a representative from West Virginia, but he's serving in the United States, the national Senate. Maybe he doesn't quite understand that, but he's voting for the whole country. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's one of the, if not the only senator that like talks like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but that it just kind of ticks me off because he talks about West Virginia like it's a completely different country and they're isolated by themselves. And don't get me wrong, I like West Virginia. I've been there a couple times, but he's not voting just for West Virginia. When he votes yes or no on bills, it's not only for West Virginia. It affects the whole country. Yeah, meanwhile, new virus cases are climbing pretty high. The most recent numbers here as of Friday, the weekend numbers are always kind of skewed because hospitals and that don't really report on the weekends. But you could see your new cases on Friday, 165,000 new cases here on Friday. And these are only cases of people that actually went to a hospital or an official testing facility. If you use an at-home test, they're not getting reported. So we really don't know how many people over 165,000 new tests in a single day are actually testing positive. Yeah, and this comes as some studies have shown that the new BA.5 and BA.4 subvariants, well, the BA.5 especially, could be the most infectious virus known to man here, as testing results show that it actually could be more infectious than measles. The measles. So it has shown that so far it's less deadly than the previous variants or some of the previous variants, but it's much more infectious. So it's spreading more rapidly, and that presents a problem because people can't go to work. There are a lot of people that are immunocompromised, the elderly. I mean, Joe Manchin's 75, the president's 79. I mean, they're both vaccinated, but think about there's just millions and millions of people here that are getting infected here. I mean, we're talking about 150,000 people on a daily basis some days. Yeah. In fact, the White House pandemic response coordinator just said the other day that the virus is going to be with us forever. That was a direct quote from him. Yeah. So this is. Let me know your thoughts here on this. Do you think it's going to become like the flu here, where it'll just be with us forever? Also, Central Kentucky's county's Republican Party has censured Mitch McConnell for supporting the bipartisan gun legislation that passed. Remember that bill that passed a few weeks ago? It passed the House, passed the Senate, and the president signed it. Well, the Central Kentucky County Republican Party has censured Mitch McConnell for supporting that. Now, remember here that a lot of Americans think that that bill didn't go far enough. It really only enhanced the background checks for 18 to 21-year-olds. And it had several different things in there, like it had funding for states to set up red flag laws. But remember that a lot of people think that some states aren't even going to set up the red flag laws. So, there's that. And I'll show you the details here. The Jessamine County Republican Party is calling for the resignation of Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell after he supported passage of what they call dangerous and unconstitutional legislation on guns. In a censure document released by the party and sent to every other Republican party in the state, the group condemns the longtime senator for his support of the bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Wow. This legislation became effective here on June 25th, so it's actually been a month now already, and puts into place gun safety laws, including extending background checks, but only for gun purchasers under the age of 21. Clarifications for federal firearm license requirements. That's for like people who sell guns, distributors and stuff like that. Funding for state red flag laws for states to set that up, and criminalization of armed trafficking and straw purchases. The bill also expands on existing Medicaid certified community behavioral health clinic demonstration program, say that 10 times fast, for behavioral health services, which is kind of setting up some mental health safety. You can see here it supplements funding related to school-based mental health and safety. So it does have some mental health stuff in there because that's part of why some of this stuff happens, including mental health services, primary care training, and suicide prevention programs. McConnell was one of 15 Republican senators to support the legislation in the Senate. In the Senate. But according to the censure from this Kentucky County Republican Party, McConnell was the only Republican member of Kentucky's congressional delegation. I mean, yeah, there's only two Republican senators from Kentucky to support the bill. The Jessamine County Republican Party explicitly supports the Second Amendment and opposes gun control. They also could replace the word here with gun safety. You know, this is kind of the issue here today, is that are we not going to pass any type of gun safety, gun restrictions, gun anything? You know, so this is kind of the battle going on here right now. We're seeing all these shootings, mass shootings here, and if it weren't for the high profile ones that are all kind of happening here all together, this wouldn't even have come together. Remember, you know, the Columbine and the Sandy Hook ones that were really high profile ones that happened. Those were years ago. Think of all the shootings that have happened since then. Okay. Remember, we have more mass shootings, which are 3 or 4 more people shot or killed in one incident than days of the year. Okay. That doesn't include single shootings or double shootings. Those happen in the hundreds. In fact, here I'll show you. Yeah, you can see here, this is by Pew Research. In more Americans died of gun-related injuries in 2020 than any other year on record. And this is the most recent year for which complete data is available. 45,222 people died from gun-related injuries in the US. 45,000 people. And if you bring up a calculator, 45,222 people dying from guns in 1 year divided by 365, that's about 124 people every single day. Every single day. You let me know your thoughts on if you think we need to tighten up the laws a little bit on gun safety, or even just on new gun sales, because that's what the, you know, like with the AR gun bill that they want to, you know, there's a new bill that they're trying to pass here in the House, or just even trying to write here in the House. They just want to tighten up the, or they just, I'm sorry, they just want to ban new assault rifle sales. Okay. So from what I understand, anybody that has assault rifles, they'd actually be able to keep them. But at least they would not be able to sell them anymore. The problem with it is that how are they going to get them from all the people that have them? It's going to be hard to do. But at least it would stop the sale of new ones out there. At least it would be something. At least like the last bill, like at least it was heralded that at least it was a step forward. At least it would be something. And then you have people like the NRA saying, "Oh, it's taking away our rights." But anybody that has guns already, it's not really taking away their rights. The only way it's going to take away their rights is if a state does pass a red flag law, and it goes to a court, and some, a judge decides that somebody is dangerous, and it takes away their gun. You know how rare that's going to be? It's going to be very rare for that to happen. I mean, those instances are going to be very, very, very few and far in between. And there could have been some of those could have stopped some of these mass shootings, because if you look at some of these mass shootings, there were times where they had like tried to commit suicide, they had made mass serious threats against other people, and some of those could have been stopped by red flag laws. Like when they tried to commit suicide, they were a serious threat to themselves or to other people. They could have had their guns taken away, because if you're trying to commit suicide, maybe you shouldn't have a gun, right? So you got to kind of think about, and you got to kind of think about, a lot of these people that do that are people that actually then go on to, do this to others as well. Because if they're in that kind of state of mind, and that's where funding for mental health and other stuff kind of comes into play, which that bill passed as well. But it's not always just the mental health issue. Sometimes people are just mad at others. Sometimes people are just mad at others. It's not always mental health. Sometimes they're just pissed off at others, for lack of a better word here. But it kind of goes back to, there's a lot of people talking about the seatbelt issue. The seatbelt issue used to be the number one cause of fatalities of children. Okay, years ago, and there used to be a big fight about, why should we have to wear seatbelts? We don't want to wear a seatbelt. It takes away our right of freedom. We shouldn't be forced to wear seatbelts. Okay, and the other thing is, there used to be a fight over freedom of speech. We should be able to have a freedom of speech. We shouldn't be forced to not be able to say anything. We should have a freedom of speech. We should be able to say anything. And then throughout the years, they eventually said that, well, we have to have some type of restrictions. We understand that, yes, these are constitutional rights, that, you should have freedom, you should have freedom of speech, but there has to be some type of limits, there has to be some type of restrictions. And eventually they passed laws to curb in the deaths of children and adults with cars. Okay. Um, and they mandated seatbelts. So now you have to wear a seatbelt or you can get a ticket. Okay. And it saves lives. Same thing with freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. You can't just run out there and yell fire in a crowded room or a crowded event. You can go to jail for it. It's against the law. Same thing with guns. There are laws around guns. And remember, guns are actually different. I've seen a few people, mention cars. Remember that cars are designed to drive from point A to point B. Guns are designed to shoot and kill. Um, it's a little bit different of a story than a car. I mean, yes, you could use a car to purposely kill, but that's you don't see that nearly as often as you do with a gun. A gun is designed to shoot something and kill something, whether it's an animal for hunting or a person, um, in military style arm, something along those lines. That's what guns are designed to do. And that's what you see every single day. I mean, 123 or 124 people every day just in the US are dying from guns. Okay. So you let me know your thoughts here in the comments. But I mean, I think that we've passed one bill here on gun safety. At least it's a step forward. At least we've gotten something done. Back when Sandy Hook and Columbine happened, we really didn't get much done here. You let me know your thoughts here in the comment section. Is it enough? Do assault rifles, what they call assault rifles, is, kind of a slang. I think most people kind of know what we're talking about here. Do assault rifles need to be banned? They're going to try to vote on it here in the House. But will they be able to pass it in the House? Will they be able to pass it in the Senate, which would be the tougher road here? And do you think the Kentucky county Republicans were fair to Mitch McConnell, who helped pass that gun safety bill, which many Americans say didn't. It was one step in the right direction, but it was a minor step. It was a minor step. It really didn't. Anybody who's a legal gun owner and is even Republicans and Joe Manchin said, If you're a legal gun owner, it's not going to take away your rights. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here on everything going on here in our country. So make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And you can click here to see the new Social Security schedule, payment schedule, and a $2,400 raise update. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.